We live. Okay, guys, it's the Midwest region right here. Purdue versus Montana State or Grambling. I don't see a 16 seed beating Purdue again. Regardless who it is, I think it's going to be Montana State. I got Purdue, though.
Purdue.
Derek?
Yeah, Purdue, easy.
Yeah, I think that's an easy one for sure. Utah State versus TCU could be an interesting one. Here's something that is interesting that I heard. Every time TCU makes the tournament, it seems like they always lose in the round of 32. They win the round of 64 game and then just lose their next game. I got TCU over Utah State. I trust Jamie Dixon to win that one game that he needs to win.
$750.
This one's a tough one because Utah State is definitely overachieved. Remember they didn't return a single player from last year, and they have a new coach, a new system, and they've actually done really, really well this year. And Great Osobor is a fantastic post player. He went from a bench player to a number one option in a span of one season, and that's impressive. And TCU, like you said, Jamie Dixon's fantastic, and
Just fine.
TCU leads the nation in fast break points, and they like to get up and down and run. If they can get up and down and run, then TCU can win this game. But I'm gonna say that I'm gonna go with Utah State. I think Utah State wins the game.
Okay. Derek, you are the deciding factor. Big 12 or Mountain West? Is it going to be my conference or is it going to be your conference?
First period.
Yeah. Yep. Anyways, I would say TCU out of both of these teams. I wanted to go for the Mountain West, but at the same time, TCU, that defense turns the ball over a lot. The fast break is effective in transition. They can get out and run. Is that the most sustainable play to play? Probably not, but I think they can get it done against a relatively young Utah State team. So give me TCU.
I agree. And that their guard play is incredible. Miller is a great player, but you got Jameer Nelson, who was an absolute superstar at University of Delaware. He was a 20-point per game scorer there. And then you also have Avery Anderson, who was one of Oklahoma State's best players as well, who's looked pretty good at TCU. So they got some incredible guards.
Yeah, TCU is a good team, and I just feel like this is one of those 50-50 coin flip games that
honestly,
like
Utah
State
they
can hang there, man. It wouldn't shock me if TCU wins.
We got Gonzaga versus McNeese, and I'll just say I do not trust McNeese. I think their record is very inflated. The Southland Conference is dog poo. I mean, I'm gonna be blunt about it. Gonzaga has, I think, the longest Sweet 16 appearance streak currently, and I think they got paired in a pretty favorable pod. I got Gonzaga winning in this one.
Yeah, I like your reasoning, and I know that the Southland is a garbage conference, and I get that. I feel like McNeese, they've actually had some decent non-conference wins, and they beat UAB, Michigan, and VCU all by double digits on the road, and I feel like that's impressive. And I know Will Wade is a POS human. He's that, but the dude can coach, and he's got some good players on that team. But Gonzaga, they're very disciplined. The offense is very good. Mark Few is a fantastic coach, especially when it comes to March. So I think this game's going to be closer than expected by Gonzaga.
Yeah, I want to like McNeese just because it kind of fill a lot of boxes as far as a good upset candidate goes. They shoot the ball well. Their record is very good despite the weak overall conference. But at the same time, Gonzaga's been at this situation before. And this has been the situation where they've been at their best when the pressure's off of them and they don't need to really worry about anything but themselves. So I would say give me Gonzaga. This is going to be a close one. I could definitely see another 5-12, but
Yep.
this is probably the one I'd say could go the fives way.
Yep.
Okay.
Now we got Kansas versus Stanford. We just heard McCullough is out for the NCAA tournament. Big news for Kansas. Dickinson likely gonna be back. But give me Stanford. Their offense is borderline elite for a mid-major program. I got Stanford.
I got Sanford too, and I think that the reason why is because Kansas has no depth, and they only average like 12 bench points per game, and that's one of the worst marks in the country. And then losing Kevin McCullough, who's arguably a first team All Big 12 player, probably a Player of the Year candidate in the conference, that is a humongous loss. And then they have not looked good without him at all. And they're definitely vulnerable. So I love Sanford in this game. That offense, like you said, is elite. They play a ton of bodies, they press, they force turnovers, and they shoot a lot of threes. And they have a lot of guys that can hit threes. So I gotta go with the Sanford Bulldogs in the upset.
Yeah, I like Sanford over Kansas as well. I think Kansas is just going to have a rough go of it without McCullough, because who's going to pick up that slack? Is it going to be Dickinson at less than 100%? It's definitely not going to be DeJuan Harris. He is pass only. Let's be real here.
Cardio.
Yep, KJ
Hey,
Adams
Robinson.
didn't take that next step up. No one took the step up they were expected. And as a result, it left Kansas very top heavy, and all of a sudden there is no top to carry them. So give me Sanford. I trust their offense a little more at this juncture. And yeah, just a rough go for Kansas.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now, this is one of my intriguing matchups. of the tournament. Dana Altman, I think I saw, has never lost a round of 64 games, but this South Carolina team really reminds me of Providence 2 years ago, and a lot of people had South Dakota State over Providence. But the reason I say that is when they lose, it is ugly. Throwback to the Auburn SEC tournament game. It was an ugly loss, but they just find ways to win when it's close. So I'm going to go with the Gamecocks here to hand Dana Altman his first ever round of 64 upset.
This one's tough, and like you said, like when South Carolina loses, they lose ugly, right? And I think that's South Carolina. They can win the game. And Oregon, I just feel like they've had so many injuries in the especially in the early part of the season, and I feel like that they've kind of peaked a little too early. When they beat Arizona and then they beat Colorado right in the Pac-12 tournament. I think that South Carolina is more rested, and I think that Lamont Paris, who should be a coach of the national coach of the year, I think the Gamecocks win the game. Give me South Carolina.
Obviously, it doesn't matter at this stage, but I would take Oregon this matchup in large part because coaching wise in March Madness, Dana Altman has the much better track record than Lamont Paris, who they've been good, but he's been good for them. He's helped them get well above expectation, but March Madness is a whole different animal. Let's be honest with ourselves here. And not to mention South Carolina during their run in the SEC tournament, Michi Johnson was awful. I think in their 2 games, he got 9 points total. It's like that wouldn't be a good game just for a star player. But when it's been continuing like this, if he doesn't pick it up, these teams are a lot closer than a lot of people think, despite the 5 seed discrepancy. I would say that if he's still cold, Oregon's going to take this.
I do agree with that. If he's cold,
That's a good point.
he's going to win. And I'll just say, interesting possibility, even though we have South Carolina moving on, is Oregon versus Creighton round of 32 matchup. Reason I say that's interesting is that was Dana Altman's old job, Creighton. So that could be an interesting matchup in the round of 32 if it happens. Creighton versus Akron. Akron has a great rebounder. I can't remember
Freeman.
his name,
Yeah, that's right.
led the nation in rebounding at least most of the year. But give me Creighton in the easy one.
Yeah, Creighton is gonna win the game. Because Akron's guards are not that good, and remember they used to have Xavier Castaneda, who was a fantastic guard, by the way, and they used to have They still have Ali, but he's good, but he's not a true point guard. He's more of a wing. And Enrique Freeman's fantastic, like you said. He's a great rebounder, leads the nation in rebounding and all that. But I just feel like Creighton, I think, wins at least the first game. I gotta go with the Blue Jays.
And it was easy.
Yeah, I have Creighton winning this one. I think Freeman can get bounced out by Kalkbrenner for Creighton. Creighton has the much better guard play, and ultimately that's what you need to win these tournaments. And Akron's been what 0 for 5 in their current coaches run in the tournament, if I remember right. So again, kind of like Vermont and Colgate, that's hard to overcome. So I'll take Creighton.
Yeah, I'll take him too.
The sweep. And it looks like Colorado State's going to beat Virginia. So we'll just kind of
As to no
pencil
one's
that
surprise.
thing in because Virginia is a part of the ASS conference, not the ACC, the ASS.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right. And we're going to go with Texas over Colorado State, though.
I'm gonna disagree, man. I got Colorado State beating Texas too. I like both of these playing game winners to win their first round matchup, and I just think that I'm not sold on Texas like I am used to. I think Texas is dirty. Their coach is unclassy. He's not classy. Like he's classless, you know. Like you gotta do the horns down to him, and then you're viewed as a classless POS, right? And I don't trust Max Asmus in March, man. I know he had a great run at Oral Roberts, but he was awful last year. I mean, he was not good against Duke. And against Colorado State, this is a tough defense. Like you're saying, like I know Virginia is awful offensively. But Colorado State, they can play, man. Isaiah Stevens is fantastic, and they got so much balance and they can all shoot the ball. So I like Colorado State over Texas.
Yeah, Colorado State over Texas all the way. Isaiah Stevens, I think, is the best player on the courts. And as far as coaching, I think Nico Medved is better than Rodney Terry. I bet so. I trust the Big 12, but I don't trust Texas.
Yeah.
Horns down and horns up at the same time.
I'll be honest, that matchup I'm kind of 50-50 on. So
Well, technically they're an SEC team because they're going to the SEC next year. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I consider them frauds.
they're not Big 12 tough.
Yeah,
They're SEC
they're
tough.
not good. It's not going to be pretty.
No. We got Tennessee versus St. Peter's, but without Shaheen Holloway, without Doug Eater, basically without everyone on that St. Peter's team. Give me Tennessee in the blowout.
Yeah, Tennessee, definitely more talented. Dalton Connect is a stud, and the St. Peter's team, they play the same style, but they're just not as talented as they were in the past. Give me Tennessee.
Yep, Tennessee this time has a reliable shooter in Dalton Connect, and St. Peter's, they've lost everybody. Holloway, Eberts, everyone from that magical run. So it's not going to happen again. Peacocks get plucked.
And you know Nigel is going to be happy if he sees Colorado State versus Tennessee.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
Most likely.
Sweet 16.
Yeah, and then he would be torn because one of them has to win. Like he's like,
True.
damn, I want a good game though.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I feel that, man. Like you like two
Guarantees a
teams,
team
and you
in the
don't
Sweet
want to see a blowout, and I get that.
So we got Purdue versus TCU. Purdue, all-time choker. TCU, all-time just round of 32 top team. And we got Purdue winning this game. I'll pull for TCU. I'll be honest. I will root for TCU through and through in this game. But I got Purdue winning.
Yeah, this is tough, and I also want to see TCU as well. But I think that that Zach Edey is so good at drawing fouls and getting to the free throw line, and the Purdue shooting has improved from last year. Last year, you could just double, triple team Zach Edey and then leave the outside open. But this year, they're actually hitting threes at a better clip this year, and Lance Jones was a nice addition. So I think Purdue wins.
I think the major thing that's going to make this matchup really interesting is that Purdue kind of plays into TCU's strengths a little bit. If you look at the losses Purdue has, they gave away the ball a ton in all of those. TCU is one of the best has one of the best turnover rates in the league, and we've shown that they can win well on the fast break. Purdue can be beat defensively at times, and again, Big Ten can choke in these situations, and especially Purdue, who's had a list of rough luck as of late. So I would say, honestly, if there was ever a time where TCU can win in the Jamie Dixon era and make it to the second weekend, this would be the time to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like your reasoning for this, and I really want to pick TCU as well, and I just think that they can match up well. But I think that that they're gonna get Zach Key the ball early and often.
Yeah, I mean, Purdue's got depth this
time,
time, which was lacking in their past few performances. But again, we'll see how that goes. I just think this is going to be a little more. It'll be like Houston, Nebraska. It's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Gonzaga versus Sanford. This is going to be an interesting shootout type game. I'm going to go with the team that knows how to make the Sweet 16 every year. It's a safe bet, no matter what, in my opinion, and that's Gonzaga.
Yeah, this is going to be a shootout, and I feel like this game can really go either way, and knowing that Sanford really loves to play fast, and then Gonzaga, they can exploit teams that are overly aggressive. So I think Gonzaga is going to win the game.
Yeah, give me Gonzaga in this one. I think they just have a lot more horses than Sanford. I think they're battle tested, and again, low expectations.
Sure. Now we got South Carolina versus Creighton. I'm gonna go with. I'll just say whoever wins the South Carolina-Oregon game, I think beats Creighton. And I'm gonna go with South Carolina in this point. I think if they can beat Oregon, it's just gonna fuel the fire with this team. This team is the type of team that if they win, they're gonna catch fire for the next game, in my opinion. And I think that South Carolina is gonna be very emotional coming off the win on, I believe it's a Thursday game. So they come off the win on Thursday. 2 days later, they play on a Saturday, and they'll be very emotionally ready to pull off another win against Creighton.
Yeah, this is a tough one, and I feel like South Carolina can win this game, but I think I'm going to go with Creighton, and I just think that Creighton, I think they're going to hit enough shots to win the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to say give me Creighton in this case as well. I think they just have the superior depth. I think they just have everything you'd like in a potential contender: depth, good balance in the lineup. I know that they haven't made a Final Four yet, but this team has it, I think. But again, we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened yet.
Now we got Colorado State versus Tennessee. I got Tennessee. I think this is a team that Barnes finally makes a run in the tournament. I think he finally has a stud, probably the best player since Kevin Durant for a Barnes-led team, and Dalton Connect. So, gonna go with Tennessee.
Virginia finally scored a basket. It took them over 12 minutes to score.
There have been 3 goals in this hockey game before Virginia scored. Good job, guys.
Sarcastic crowd cheers in Dayton. Hilarious. So for this game, Tennessee and Colorado State, I'm going Tennessee here. I think Tennessee is going to end Colorado State's run here.
Yeah.
Yep. The play-in's not going to last as long this time. Tennessee's just more of a complete team. They have experience. I think they made it to the Elite 8 last year, if I remember right.
Tennessee
Sweet 16
Florida Atlantic. Yeah.
Okay, well, regardless, at least they've shown they can make it out of the out of the first weekend,
And
which
this team is
baby
way better than
steps.
last year.
I was about to say I didn't trust last year's team, and it surprised me a little bit that they went as far as they did. And this time, it's a team that has shooters, has experience now. So they have again, like Creighton, they have the hallmarks that you're looking for a potential contender. So
Yeah. for
let's roll
sure.
with Tennessee and go with it.
Oh, we got the Sweet 16, a 1-5 versus
let's go.
2-3. I got this one. I'm iffy too, so I'm gonna let y'all take it first. Purdue versus Gonzaga.
Derek, you can start this one off.
Again, we talk about Purdue choking all the time. And until I see Purdue, I know they have the depth, I know they have balance, I know they have scoring, but it's just a matter of I can't trust them until they get over that hill. So I'm going to say, give me a Gonzaga team that may not have high expectations over a team in Purdue where they know that if they don't make it to the Final Four, the overrated label is going to come out for Matt Painter, if it hasn't already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I also agree with you, actually. I'm going Gonzaga too. I think they beat Purdue as well. And I
You
don't
need a
trust
one
Matt
seed to
Painter.
fall
Like I
before
said,
the
like
Elite Eight at some
there are
point.
3 coaches I don't trust: Matt Painter, Shaka Smart, and Tommy Lloyd. And Matt Painter coaches Purdue. I don't trust them to make the Final Four. So I'm going with Gonzaga.
Yeah, I was very 50-50 on this one. I think yesterday's video I had UConn losing to Auburn and then Gonzaga losing to Purdue. I think that's how I played it out. Now I'm thinking UConn winning against Auburn, and I'm gonna go with Gonzaga beating Purdue. I'm kind of 50-50 torn on those. Like one of them is, I think only one of those 1 seeds are gonna win the Sweet 16 game. It's either gonna be Purdue or UConn. I'm now leaning towards UConn beating.
Or Houston.
Oh, I got Houston in my Final Four already.
Yeah,
I
we can't worry about them.
Yeah, I
too
think
much.
there's going
Gotcha.
to be 2 1
Yep.
seeds that
Yep.
make the Elite 8.
Yep. Out of all of the 4 seed, what am I talking about? The 4-1 seeds.
Yeah,
I think Houston probably has the highest variance where they can either go out in the round of 32 or make all the way to the title game.
true.
North Carolina's the one I'm probably the least confident in, and then Purdue's the one where I'm firmly on the fence about. Like, you have everything that someone is looking for in a winner, but you haven't done it yet. So either do it or I'm just going to assume you're not.
And what's interesting
That's
is
how it is.
I think Houston and North Carolina have a tougher round of 32 matchup than a Sweet 16 matchup.
I heard people like say North Carolina had the easiest road, and I'm just thinking to myself, what are you talking about?
The only easy part is possibly a Sweet 16 game. They're either playing St. Mary's, GCU, Alabama.
Yeah, neither of those, we can see them right now. Neither of them look particularly good, but we can get to that when we get to it.
Yeah.
Got Creighton versus Tennessee. I'm going with Tennessee, guys. I'm not a firm believer on Creighton. I think I would like last year's team better when they had Kaluma and Nimbard on that team. This year, I'm just not 100% sold. So I'm going to go with Tennessee personally, although a Creighton-Gonzaga matchup with Nimbard would be a very intriguing matchup.
Yep. I agree. I'm going Tennessee here. And yeah, I know that we want to see a good revenge game, and I get that. But I think Tennessee's defense gets it done here.
Yeah, I'm leading Tennessee, but they remind me of the one time Virginia actually had good shooters, which was their championship game when they went all the way. It's like you now have the one thing that you've never had, and that's reliable scorers. Tennessee's got Connect. It's changed everything for them. Creighton's a good team, but again, they never made it. One coach is going to get some sweet redemption. This is the region where that happens. And right now, I wouldn't be, with the way things are going, Barnes is probably my guy.
Mhm.
Yep, I agree.
That means we got an Elite Eight matchup of Gonzaga versus Tennessee. I believe they were both in the Maui Invitational this year. I don't think they played each other, but I believe both of them were in
I don't remember.
that
I don't
tournament.
think they play each other either.
And by the way, we got 10 minutes left, which is plenty of time to finish this game. So,
Yep. Yay.
but
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Tennessee. I just think, although I trust Mark Few more than Barnes in the tournament, I just trust the team that Tennessee has. I think they have way more talent than Gonzaga does this year.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with Tennessee as well, and I think that this would be a good game, and it would be a very close game. But I think Tennessee, I think like I said, like their defense is going to get it done late, like and they're gonna get like a late stop at the end, to seal it.
Yep. Tennessee's just felt like the more consistent team to me all year. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna just back that. Gonzaga had a great run for a 5 seed, but Tennessee just feels like the most complete team in this region to me. And if they come out of this, they have a great shot.
Yeah. I also think this region is very easy for Tennessee. I don't think this is that good of a region. I think it's actually
If they beat Creighton in the Sweet 16, they're in.
yeah. I think Purdue's the easy 1 seed. Gonzaga, Kansas both have looked shaky this year. I don't think McNeese
And they're both upset candidates.
Yeah. I just think it's an easy region. Well,
It wouldn't be a surprise to see McNeese end up just going wire to wire on Tennessee because they have a lot of traits that you'd expect, and this is outside of that East region. There's a lot of upset potential, and we are about to get to the most psychotic of that.
Hey, what I say is the West region is the best region when it comes to upset. So we're gonna start that soon once this downloads, hopefully.